Alright everybody, welcome to another episode of 9to5Mac Weekly, and Happy New Year from us to you. And in this video, what I want to discuss is a few things because normally this time of year is a bit on the quieter side, but there is some stuff happening like the Vision Pro looming and coming a lot earlier than anticipated. So without further ado, let's talk about the Vision Pro 17.3 Beta 2 bricking all these devices and a bunch of other little goodies that we definitely got to touch on. Let's get into it. So the first thing I want to talk about is iOS 17.3 Beta 2. It was released on Wednesday of this week, and there were a bunch of reports that when people were updating their iPhones to 17.3 Beta 2, it started to brick their device and then went into this boot loop mode, meaning that they couldn't get into the device without going to DFU and fully restoring that device, which is very, very annoying and very tough. And I always say, be careful installing these betas because for the most part, yes, you're going to be fine moving forward and it's very rare that you get any data loss, but every now and then this is a beta program and it's not for the entire public, meaning that stuff like this could happen. Now, this was only happening to iPhone users that had the tap back feature turned on. Why that was the case, we're not 100% sure, but it is a bug that was happening that Apple's planning to fix. And I will link an article in the description down below so you guys can check out how to actually restore your device and fix anything that happens and get into DFU mode and restore it to the prior settings. But it is an unfortunate situation, but if you did not have that tap back button, it did fully install correctly. And again, there weren't too many new things besides the device stolen protection program, which did release with the original beta 1. But that was 17.3, bricking everybody's iPhone, unfortunately. Now, I do want to touch on the Vision Pro and some expectations that we have, but I will link a video that we did earlier this week about everything we know so far. But I wanted to touch that the fact that the Vision Pro is actually coming out much sooner than expected, and it could be on the shelves as early as the last week of January, which is unbelievable. I wasn't expecting to get this thing until the very end of Q1 and maybe even let it bleed into Q2, but get your wallets ready. If you are in the US, it's going to be a $3,500 device, which again, it should wow us for that price. But in terms of the actual purchasing process, we did create another video because the purchasing process of the Vision Pro is going to be a lot different than, buying your normal Apple product like an iPhone or AirPods or a MacBook or things like that. Because the Vision Pro, since it's such a brand new product, it's a brand new category that Apple's getting into, it is a $3,500 product and there's optics involved. So there's a lot of variables when it comes to dealing with people's eyesight, whether it is people that use glasses or use contacts, people that have different eyesight variability. So there will be a lot of stuff that Apple needs to deal with. So the purchasing process, you should still be able to pre-order it or order it online, but it looks like Apple's going to make us come into the store to actually get it fitted, get it set up. Because the last thing Apple wants to do is get you to take it home directly or get it shipped to your house, and then you spend 30 minutes trying to set it up and not knowing how to set it up correctly, and maybe it's a little bit blurry still. So there will be some appointments that are going to be set up to actually get this thing ready to go for you, because it is going to be very customizable. And now that remains to be seen what it means for the return policy, because if it is fully customized to you, I'm sure Apple could reset it after the fact, but let's see what Apple does from the return policy if they change it up at all, because normally the return policy is 14 days. And for a $3,500 product, if somebody doesn't like it, they should have the right to fully just return it for a full refund, but that's to each their own. That is what we know so far about the Vision Pro, so be ready. If you guys do want to pick one up, be ready to set an appointment to go into the store. If you don't have a local Apple store, you're going to be driving a pretty decent amount, but that is what we got on the Vision Pro. But let me know what you guys think about being forced to come into the Apple Store. Is it kind of being forced, or is it something that's going to be cool? Is it going to be a good experience? Definitely stay subscribed and leave some comments down below about what you guys want to see for that process, because I will be vlogging it as we're going to try to pick one up on release day like a normal customer and see exactly what that process is like. And then some other little tidbits that happened this week. Fellow tech YouTuber Michael Fisher, known as Mr. Mobile Online, released his first ever product that he actually created as a co-founder. It's a company called Clicks, which is very interesting. And if you guys are aware of Mr. Mobile's type of content, he has a series called When Phones Were Fun, which he reviews retro tech and mostly reviews retro phones with keyboards like Blackberries and Windows phones and Palm Trios and things like that, where it's, again, a nostalgic type of series, but also kind of bringing us back to what it was like to have physical buttons on an actual keyboard or on an actual phone. So what he wanted to do was actually bring out an accessory in 2024 that kind of circles that fully all the way back to give us a physical keyboard on the iPhone. Now, there have been companies that have tried this in the past, and for the most part, they haven't been very successful, but I think this one, in the way that they're being marketed and the price point and what it's being used for, and also who is actually coming out with this, will kind of lead to a decent amount of success. I'm going to get my hands on one, or at least try to get my hands on one. I got to wait for the iPhone 15 Pro Max version to come out, because the only one that's ready to fully order is for the iPhone 14 Pro. Then the iPhone 15 Pro is going to be coming out in February, and then the iPhone 15 Pro Max, you can reserve it, and it's going to be coming out at the end of the spring season. So I'm curious to see what it's like. It looks good, the build quality looks amazing, and I'm curious to see if there is a world where a full physical keyboard that lets you use your entire 6.7-inch display for actual content viewing and things like that if there is a place for that in 2024. I'm curious to see how people are going to be using it, and also kind of the weight distribution, what it feels like, and if it's something that's viable and recommendable at the end of the day for people in 2024 with their iPhone. So again, that is by Michael Fisher, Mr. Mobile, and it's called Clicks. And then the final thing that we saw reported this week is that the iPhone 17, yes, not the iPhone 16, and I know we're on the iPhone 15 still, so we're talking 2 years from now. We did get some leaks and rumors that the iPhone 17 lineup will get a 24 megapixel selfie camera or front-facing camera. So it should increase the quality overall. Again, this is 2 years down the line, so it is kind of a funny thing that shows up, something so random, that the iPhone 17 lineup is going to be having a 24 megapixel camera on the front. So let's see exactly what that means moving forward and understand why Apple is doing that. Is it just a crispness thing, or is it something that's going to lead to a better technology or a better Face ID moving forward? And that is just about going to do it for this video. Again, we didn't see too much that was going on. The most interesting thing to me was the iPhone's being bricked by 17.3 beta 2, because we haven't seen an update go that badly in a while, even in the beta program, because like I mentioned, the beta program, yes, it's always install at your own risk, but for the most part, I've been using the beta program since I believe iOS 12, maybe iOS 13, when iPadOS 13 kind of became a thing, and I've never really had any detrimental issues. Every now and then there's a reboot or a springboard reboot or something like that, but the fact that people's phones were being bricked and then they had to actually fully restore their phones is a little bit annoying. But again, install at your own risk. And then finally, the purchasing process for the Vision Pro is very interesting, and it's something that's going to be brand new. It's going to be very relatable to when the new Apple Watch came out back in 2015, where Apple kind of set aside a bunch of tables for people to try on the Apple Watch, see what the Apple Watch band was like, because again, it's a brand new product. People aren't fully aware of what to expect even when they do purchase it. But like I mentioned, that's going to do it for this video. If you guys made it to the end, leave a little dolphin in the comments down below so I know you made it to the end. And leave some comments down below also about what you expect about the Vision Pro. Are you guys going to pick one up? Is it something you're excited to get your hands on? Or are you just going to see the reviews and see exactly what people have to say and see at the end of the day if it's worth $3,500, which again, it's crazy. You can get an iPhone, an iPad, and a MacBook for that type of money. But that's gonna do it, everybody. If you guys want to watch more iOS, macOS, or iPadOS videos, maybe even some watchOS or visionOS videos, click on one of these videos right here. And until next time, I'm Fernando. Have a great weekend. Peace.